If you're to start learning music, do it the right way. Start with this. Inches and feet are to a carpenter what steps and half steps are to a musician. Half steps are the basic measurement unit with which we measure musical distance, at least in a Western tonal framework, where we split the octave into 12 equal parts. So as you can see, there's 7 white keys and 5 black keys. If you open the front lid of an acoustic piano, things are also pretty straightforward. Every group of strings is basically a half step higher than the one before. Where things get more complicated is when you put the lid back on and stare at the keys. This channel is all about building maps, so let's build a map of every possible manifestation of steps and half steps on the keyboard and what they look like. If you're looking at half steps, there's 3 possible scenarios. You can go from a white key to a black key, for instance, C to D flat. You can go from a black key to a white key, for instance, D sharp to E. And finally, you can go from a white key to another white key when, and only when, there's no black key in between. This is also a half step. There's no other possible combination of keys that creates a half step. For steps, the most important thing you need to remember is that you need to skip over a note, whatever the color. So you can go from white to white if there is a black key in between, for instance, from C to D. You can go from black to black, like D flat to E flat, if there's a white key in between as well. The trickier ones are when you need to skip over a note while also moving from the white keys to the black keys, for instance, from E to F sharp, or vice versa, from E flat to F. Those are harder to spot. This gives us 4 possible shapes for steps. So that's our map. Now, if you're trying to count larger intervals, the main confusion regarding half steps has to do with how we count them. So let me clear that one for you. If we're trying to determine the distance in half steps between F and G on the keyboard, we're not going to count the individual notes, but rather the jumps in between the notes. So the distance between F and G on the keyboard is 2 half steps, and the distance between F and A on the keyboard is 4 half steps, even if there are 5 notes involved. When I teach kids, I tell them this metaphor, which seems to be working very well. Imagine you're staying at F's house, and there's a party happening over at A's place. How many strides do you need to make in order to get there? That's your number of half steps.